Hey guys, DJ Raviesta here. Just wanted to let you guys know that the rest of this video was recorded via Discord. Also, this video is not sponsored by Discord. Just wanted to put that out there. That said, you guys enjoy the rest of the show. I will catch you guys later.
Hey guys, the Final Fantasy Remake is coming out this Friday. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the crew. My name is Reggie, and I'm here with my friends Chandra, Lewis, and Anthony. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Pretty good.
Doing great.
Good. Awesome. So, Final Fantasy VII Remake coming out. Couple days. How excited are we about it?
I, for one, am super excited about it.
On a scale from 1 to 10, I'm probably about an 8, 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably about the same. You know, super excited. Can't wait to pre-order it. Can't wait to play it on Friday.
Alright, dope. So, obviously, this is one of the most prominent games in the world, in some people's opinions, definitely in the Final Fantasy universe. So for all the people who may not know exactly what Final Fantasy VII is about, what does the story contain? Anthony?
So, Final Fantasy is a story about the main character, Cloud Strife, and his allies and friends kind of discovering the world and trying to stop the evil actions of the Shinra Corporation and Sephiroth, to put it shortly.
Alright, that's a great synopsis of the story. So, on to what we're excited about. What are you guys excited about this remake? Lewis?
Well, I mean, there are a couple things based on some demos and some gameplay videos that I've watched of it. I've tried to stay away from the story as much as possible. So, as far as, you know, the gameplay and just how different the gameplay looks compared to, like, the original Final Fantasy VII from the PS1, in which it was more of a turn-based system with the old game, and now it's more so similar to the way Kingdom Hearts plays, in which there's a bit of a hack and slash element, and at the same time that you can go ahead and you can combo that with different lock-on abilities that you have. So that's probably the most I'm excited about, because I'm not that big of a fan of turn-based games, and watching it switch into this new system is something that really got me excited.
To piggy off of what he was saying, I'm also excited about just the graphical redesign of the entire game, because I've heard that it is going to be scene for scene that same area in the game as in the original PlayStation version. The combat also looks really good. I'm not too excited about the combat more than just the change from turn-based. I was very excited to see that it was no longer going to be a turn-based combat, because that can really bog down the experience for some people, especially myself. Yeah, the graphics, it's a beautiful graphics. What about you, Chandra?
One thing I will say that I'm super excited about, maybe, I don't know about anybody else, I'm super excited about Cloud's Buster Sword. If you actually watch the gameplay and actually look at his sword from then to now, his Buster Sword is phenomenal. You can actually see the materia in his sword. Freaking awesome. You guys don't understand. I'm so serious.
I can kind of understand it with certain other games, like with Sora's Keyblade, just like the way it glistens and how breathtaking it looks like now after the remakes are done. I definitely understand where you're coming from.
It's like so cool. Like, oh my goodness, you guys don't understand. It's just so cool. And then not only that, I will say the summon. These summons, Shiva, Ifrit, you know, so on and so forth. Graphics are beyond me. As far as the combat gameplay, I mean, I think it's 50-50. If you, again, watch the gameplay, I think it's turn-based, as well as it reminds me of like how Final Fantasy 15 was. I don't know if you guys played it.
I did play 15.
Okay.
Like, for me, the combat in 15 just felt smoother, but then again, it's different characters, so like they can be a little bit more, they can make the combat feel more smooth with that game. They're basically rehashing old characters. They can't get too creative with how the characters fight, because they're basing it off of the previous games. But I do like what they did to kind of bridge the gap. Like the idea that Cloud is like a hack and slasher kind of guy, and moving away from just like the turn-based, just hit, alright, now it's your turn type of feel, and really getting into like the fray. You can really feel like, okay, these guys are shooting at me, but I'm I'm gonna get in here, I'm gonna jump over there and do all of these crazy cool combos and stuff like that. It's a really good feel.
I don't think I like the idea of not having straying away from the original, to be honest with you. I mean, I get it, we are in a new, different day and age, things did change. But I will say, I kind of wish they didn't stray away from the turn. That's how I feel.
Why is that? Is it something personal, or is it like a kind of...
It's actually very personal.
Very personal?
Very personal.
Because some people prefer turn-based because it allows you to be have a little bit more of a plan in mind when you go into it, so...
Right. It's just it's strategy. It was in the beginning. It was strategy. Now we've got like live action. You've got to think on your feet. Like, this is not COD or any.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I get that.
I do like that if you pull up the tactical menu, it does actually slow back down, and it feels that it gets that turn-based idea going, so that if you need to have somebody give you a potion or cast magic or something like that, it slows down so that you can kind of slow down, do what you need to do, pre-plan, and then get back into the action. I think that's the best way to bridge the gap between like the tactical turn-based style and a more new age kind of combat that they'd be doing for Final Fantasy.
Alright, next, any new features you guys want to add to this game?
Personally, I don't think there's any features I want to add to the game. Combat seems solid. I don't really know much more about like the looting system or anything like that, or the ability to grind in the game. My biggest thing is I wish that the game was more content, or at least a steady stream of content after the Midgar section of the game. But I know that there's pros and cons to it. What do you think, Lewis?
Well, I, unlike most people, have never played Final Fantasy VII, the original one. So I'm excited to kind of go into this as far as, kind of going in with a fresh take, fresh mind, and just embracing it, because I've heard so much about the story and how amazing the story is, and to be able to go ahead and experience it without the one issue that I mainly had with this turn-based system, and now moving on to a gameplay style that I would prefer. I'm super excited about it, super looking forward to it. From what I've heard, there's plenty of content in the actual Midgar experience, so I'm just super looking forward to it.
Awesome. What about you, Chandra?
To be honest with you, I haven't played the game since I was a kid, so that's my problem, and I can't really put too much on to answer that question. So, sorry.
Alright, it's okay. It's alright.
No problem at all.
So, another thing, a lot of people are kind of conflicted about the fact that this isn't going to be the entire game. That's going to actually be separated into different chapters. Have you guys heard about that?
The fact that the game is set up into episodes of specific parts of the game, they're going to do those parts of the game per episode. I guess it's great because you can kind of get a full nosedive into each part in digestible chunks. But for old fans who would want to just go through the entire story in one sitting, it is kind of rough, to say the least. Especially since there has not been an update for the next chapter coming out. We don't know when the next one's coming out. Charter, what do you think about it?
I think my thing is I need it to be 3 separate discs. I don't need it to be on one disc, because one, the story is super long. You can't fit all of that in one disc. It needs to be in separate discs. So I'm hopeful that they do it, but the only problem is how long we have to wait for the next one to come out, when we've been waiting for umpteen amount of years for the first one to even bother to come out.
I definitely feel that. Lewis, what about you? How do you feel about this?
Well, unlike, like I said, because of the fact that I've never really touched Final Fantasy before, it's not something that necessarily bothers me. I mean, like Chandra said, it's something that the game came out initially on 3 discs for a reason. The story is long. So the fact that we're not, from what I heard, from even the first part that we're getting on Friday, you still can get anywhere from about 35 hours to up to 50 hours of gameplay just in that first part. So I feel like there's not necessarily any kind of rip-off or any kind of being robbed of any time, unlike I've heard with some other games that charge full price. I think even with it being just part 1 of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, we're still getting a full AAA title and getting our money's worth.
Sure, I feel that. Definitely.
Wait, I would like to ask a question, Louis. So you're saying that you want it to be a DLC, is what you're saying? So you want people to pay for the first remake and then have the DLCs, have it as DLC, the rest of the DLCs instead of discs? Did you have to pay for more discs?
Well, it depends on what they decide to do with it, to be honest. I think the perfect example right now is the way that Resident Evil 3, which just came out last week, is being displayed compared to Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 was a full game that was worth the $60. Resident Evil 3, I see some people finishing it within 2 to 3 hours. And to charge $60 for 2 to 3 hours of gameplay, to me, is not worth it. But if they're going to go ahead and they're going to put enough time and effort into the next parts of Final Fantasy VII Remake, as much as they have put the effort into this first part, then yeah, I say charge $60 for the game. It's well worth it if we're going to get consistently anywhere from 30 to 30 plus hours of gameplay for each disc. But if you're just going to put the effort in for the first one and then kind of give us maybe like 5-6 hours of gameplay on each other's subsequent part, then no, yeah, I would want that as kind of just maybe $20-$30 DLC rather than full pay $60 for each part.
So more content, more money, essentially, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
All right, that is it for the show. I want to thank my friends Chandra, Louis, and Tony for being with me today. If you guys want to hear us talk about games that you're interested in, subscribe to the channel. Until then, see you guys next time.
Oh boy.